So there's a video going around on Facebook of a guy singing along to a song, but he's making like suggestive, uh, you know, actions with his mouth, with his tongue. He's spitting at the camera and all kind of carrying on, right? And so the video went viral. A bunch of women are sharing this video, right? To me, it's a turnoff, right? All that extra carrying on, right? I just think that men should not operate in certain ways, right? It just reminds me of strippers. I think male strippers are gross. There's nothing enticing about watching a man gyrate himself, but women like stuff like that. And it just made me think about, just looking at him, I can tell that this guy is corny. I can tell that he's a decent looking guy. He's not ugly. And he's tall. You can see that he's tall and he's built. So he's going to get women based off of that. But I can see just how he acts and what he decided to upload. He's catering to women and he's corny, right? Solid men would never act like that online, right? There's a lot of things that men do online to entice women, and women like it. I don't understand it. I've never been attracted to. You're a man. Go build a house or something. Like, why are you online flicking your tongue and jumping around and gyrating yourself, right? I don't think. So I wrote a post on Facebook and I said, a lot of women get finessed by men because a lot of y'all don't know that dudes is goofies because you don't observe them. You don't really know what to look for, right? A lot of guys, they do what's necessary to get women, right? Whether it be build their bodies in the gym, become successful, right? Earn money, all these things that attract women. But it doesn't take away their goofiness. It doesn't take away their social awkwardness, right? And I speak about this in women, right? The things you accomplish in life doesn't indicate self-mastery. It doesn't take away your social awkwardness, right? The things that you got to work on within your personality, you got to work on them regardless of what you are doing in life. Those things do not substitute, right? The accomplishments in life don't substitute your personality and, your charm and these things, right? A lot of dudes are corny. And you just got to watch men and listen to them. And you hear a lot of fanboying going on with men. They're attention whores. They think that they're men because they're successful. And that's all that they need for women. And women end up in relationships with men like this, and they're turned off by the man because the man has ways that don't align with what would excite the nature of a woman. And I believe that that's why women are attracted to like thugs, the undesirables of society, because those men possess, it's like a coolness, right? Which you can be a successful man, you can be a white collar guy, you can be a blue collar guy, and still have that coolness, that masculinity, that self-assuredness. Like, a lot of men do not have that. It's a lot of cornballs walking around, and they hide behind whatever they accomplished in life. Where you see a lot of these men? In jobs that require them to wear uniforms, right? Law enforcement, military, right? Men in jobs like that will always get women, no matter how goofy and insecure they are, because those jobs indicate stability, and that's what women want. A lot of men are being dominated by other men in so many ways, but they can hide their weakness around women because they're men, and if they just put on that bravado, that machismo, or they cater to women, they're pandering, they're the lover boy, they could play these roles and they'll get over with women, and women will get tied up with these guys, and then they later find out that this guy's a whole fucking goofball, or he's insecure, right? The men hide behind things just like women do, right? Women hide behind, their bodies. They get their bodies done. They enhance themselves. They do whatever they have to do to draw men in. And then eventually the man will find out that the chick is dumb as a bag of fucking rocks, right? That applies to men too. It's always a lot of conversation about women tricking men, but men trick women too. I saw women crying on TikTok about being married, and she's married to a good man, but she just doesn't want to be married anymore. It's just something about the marriage that's turning her off. I believe women end up like that when they find out that the man is not as attractive as she was led to believe. A lot of men are not what they present themselves to be. And a lot of times women are just in too deep, and then they're not attracted. Like, a lot of men are not attractive. And for women, the attractiveness can go beyond looks, right? A woman will deal with an ugly man. But when you don't have that thing, it's just something like, you can't really explain it. And most men don't have it. When you don't have that, it's hard to be attracted to the man. This is why women will end up with men and don't want to sleep with them, right? They're married to a man for years and don't want to sleep with them. She doesn't want to be with him because it's something about him that's turning her off. She's not attracted to him. And a lot of times women were never really attracted to the guy. She was attracted to something that she liked about him. She wasn't fully attracted to him. I was speaking about this the other day, where an older gentleman was telling a younger guy how he has to cook for his woman and take care of her. She shouldn't be the only one, doing housework and all these things. Now, this guy is of the era where, they took care of their woman and they made sure she was all right, and they hit off with a couple of dollars. That old head simp bullshit, right? But women fall for it, and it works, right? Because a lot of women are in survival mode, and a lot of women like corny men. Like, they like the men are just like lover boys, romantic types, which is all fucking a game to get women, right? And so he's saying this because he's thinking it's impressive to me, and I said, none of that shit is impressive. I can cook my own food. Can you fight? Can you run? Right? If they decide to drop a bomb, do you have a fucking bunker to take me to? Stuff like that is impressive to me. Can you survive as a man? Are other men dominating you? Are you looking for approval from other men? Like, a lot of men are just like women to men. It's just in man. They're subs. They're looking for approval. They're fanboys. Men are doing all of this shit to each other, but women don't really see it because men can play the role that women want them to play. And most dudes are corny. Most of them are goofies, but they'll get successful. They'll make a couple of dollars, and they'll impress women in that way. And deep down inside, they're just a fucking goofball. The goofies of the world are the ones who do listen to women and do what they say so they can have access to women. Those men don't stand on their own square because they're scared of not getting access to women. The solid men are going to be men, accomplish what they need to accomplish, and women are either going to be on board or they're not. They're not moving to get women. They get women because of how they move, right? Two different things. Most men are the ones who do things for women. They're always seeking the approval of women. And, you know, people call them simps, but most men are simping in some way. Most men are not really standing on their square and doing what's necessary and saying, I don't give a fuck if these bitches like me or not. Those are the ones that's always going to get women. Because that's not their focus. They're not doing things to get women. They do what they need to do, and then the women will always flock to solid men. But most men are too afraid to be that because they're afraid of not getting women. They're afraid of scaring women off. Just like women won't really be a bitch or you know, stern because they're afraid of alienating men. Right? Men do the same things women do. It's just done differently. I wrote a post on Facebook and I said, I hate when men tell me to enjoy my food. Just shut the fucking hole in your face. I can't stand that because you really don't care. Enjoy your food. Have a good night. How you doing? Everything. Shut the fuck up. And, you know, it's nothing wrong with these things, but it's how men do things. It's the reason why. A lot of them just want to be in your good graces. They're performing. They're no different from women performing to be in your good graces. And it's so cringy because we don't expect men to be performing as they do, although they are always performing in some way, but it's cringy, right? I don't like the simping. I don't like the pandering. I don't like the coddling. Like, nigga, get off your knees. Stand up and be a man. And being a man doesn't mean be a chauvinist and women have their place. I'm not saying that, but I can't really explain it without, you know, because again, a lot of women like that corny behavior. A lot of women like the simps and the goofies and the cornballs because they can get over on those men. And men know that women like that. So some of them will teeter the line of being like a solid man and a goofy, right? Because they don't want to they still have ego, so they still got to be a little, you know, rough around the edges. But I could see through it's a lot of goofballs walking the earth, right? It's a lot of corny dudes, right? That's how, I don't understand how y'all be having multiple men. Like, most men are not solid men. That's attractive. That speaks to the feminine nature. It's not a lot of men like that. So how are y'all? I guess y'all just bullying them and, you know, dominating them and robbing them. It gotta be that because